Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. My name is Lungisani Mtunu and I come from the group called The Unexpected Relatives. In the following presentation, we'll be discussing the sociology of gender. First of all, we must define what is gender. Gender is simply a state of being a male or a female. Through birth, a child inherits their respective sex, but as they grow up, they learn about their gender. My colleagues will further elaborate in this aspect using the following question. Firstly, they will discuss what is gender according to sociologists. Secondly, they will state the views of conflict theorists as well as functionalists concerning the sociology of gender. Then lastly, for each perspective, they will discuss at least one critique. Following is my fellow member Tammy, who will tell us what is gender according to sociologists.
Action.
According to sociologists, gender is a social characteristic which varies from one society to another, and also refers what the group considers proper for its males and females. For instance, in one society, a woman might be expected to be kind, take care of the children, be submissive to the husband, and males might be expected to be strong, masculine, go to work, and run the household, while on the other hand, another society will do things differently. But when do gender socialization begin? This process begins exactly at birth. The moment the child is born, the question will be, is it a boy or is it a girl? Then parents will apply what the society expects from boys and girls, depending on the child's sex. This process continues through lifetime course, meaning no matter what we obtain in our lifetime, we carry the label male and female with us. This label guides our behavior and serves as a power and privilege. In short, we inherit our sex, but learn our gender. My colleague, Nobuhle Mtshali, will further elaborate on what is gender according to sociology, but in terms of power, masculine and feminine.
Thanks to all. My name is Nobuhle Mtshali, and I will add on what is gender according to sociologists. Lungisani Mtunu has stated that gender is a state of being male or female. The concept of gender is vital because it is applied to social analysis that reveals how women's subordination or men's domination is socially constructed. For example, in schools, most principals or HODs are men, and they earn a lot of money than females, who are general teachers, as you can see in the picture. As such, the subordination can be changed or ended. It is not predetermined nor fixed forever. My next colleague, Snetanta Melody Mkhize and Lungisile Mkhwanazi, will tell us more on how do functionalists or conflict theorists view gender. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Snetanta Melody Mkhize
and I'm Lungisile Mkhwanazi, and we are going to be discussing about
functionalist view on gender
and conflict theorist view on gender. Basically, Sneh will be focusing more on functionalist view on gender. Sneh, how do functionalists view gender?
Okay, this theory suggests that gender inequalities exist as an efficient way to create a division of labor.
If you're talking about a division of labor, what do you mean? What do
For
you mean?
example, in a school environment,
Yes.
you find us that there are chores for boys and chores for girls.
What are those chores?
Boys will be given chores that need physical ability,
Then
or
the
physical
girls,
power,
yes.
and girls will be given chores that does not need physical power, because it is believed that boys are stronger than than
Than
females,
females.
physically.
Okay.
You find us boys will be lifting up desks,
Yes.
cleaning windows,
Okay.
cleaning the board, washing teachers' cars.
Then the
While
girls.
girls will be sweeping the floors,
Yes.
washing food buckets.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically, does that only apply in the school context, or do we also find it in our environment, in the society?
We find it everywhere.
Like where, for example?
Even in the churches.
Okay.
You find us that boys will be standing in front preaching the gospel,
Okay.
while females will be preparing water for preachers,
Yes.
or even cleaning the house of God,
Okay.
keeping it clean.
Okay, like looking in your personal experiences, did you experience what we call the functionalist theory, the view of functionalist?
Yes, in my home,
Yes.
girls will be taking care of the house,
Okay.
fetching water
Yeah.
from the taps, while boys will be taking care of the yard.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, what else do functionalists say about gender?
According to this theory, gender differentiation are responsible for the stability in the society.
Talking about stability,
In
what do you mean?
in a family, for
Okay.
example, you find us that a husband would go out, look for a job,
Yes.
earn money, and support the family.
Okay.
Take care of the family financially.
Financially.
While the female would be, like for example in this picture,
Okay.
taking care of the house,
Okay.
cleaning the house,
Okay.
making sure that each and every family member sleep with full stomach,
Okay.
cook for the family.
Okay.
Like in this picture.
Okay.
Yes.
We can see that a woman is cooking,
Is cooking.
and maybe the husband has to go to work.
And,
Basically, the woman has a task to do, and also the man will have a task to do.
Then
There
there's
will be
stability in the family.
Okay, we understand that.
Yes. But that is how functionalists view gender.
Okay.
How about conflict theory? How does it view gender? Okay.
Conflict theories have a different perspective
Okay.
from the functionalist.
How?
Okay, according to conflict theories, gender is a social struggle for dominance among social groups between men and women. They have a competition whereby there's a competition between men and women competing for scarce resources.
Oh, what are those scarce resources?
For example, for in the world of work, if you can look here, and you can also look where is it here, then we can take it as the world of work, whereby if we look at in the construction company, for example,
Okay.
you find that you receive an application from male and female, but the most considered application will be from male.
Why
Because
is
of
that?
what? Because of their physical abilities.
Oh.
We believe that men are more powerful than what? Than women, which means they can be able to work in a construction company while women cannot. That is how we believe in.
But does that view females as inferior compared to males?
If we look at the functionalist
Okay.
definition, they suggest that men as a dominant group,
Okay.
while the female are a subordinate women, which means male will always be dominant over the women, which means if we look at this balance scale, men, they are more dominant to what? To female, which means people who are considered to have power, it's male, while women, they have less power. If we look at home, the household, you find that there are household labors, then household labors are associated with lack of power, and they are unpaid, which means the housemaker, which is the female, right? So the female will do all the labor in the house, while the men will do what? Do little of the household, or do nothing, or go to work. If you can look at a husband is sitting on the couch, he's
Relaxing,
doing nothing, yes,
nothing.
while the female is doing what? Is working, right? So this is done for the reason to maintain what? Their power in the society. So that is how male are associated with the domination, while female are subordinate.
But that is also how they maintain their domination.
Yes, they maintain the domination in the society, they maintain their power and privileges in the society.
Even
In
in
that
the
way,
home.
yes, in that way the men will always have more power than female, and female will always dependent on men, because men will go to work and provide for the family, provide what? Money to maintain the house. Yes.
But can you relate this theory
Yes.
to your personal experiences?
Yes, if we can look at home, right? And you find that my father will go to work while my mother will remain at home. But that doesn't mean that my mother couldn't work. But it's that belief that a woman should stay at home while the man will go to work to provide for the family, and so that the society would recognize the men to have more power than the female that they have. Yes. Yeah.
Are there critiques against this theory?
Of course, there are critiques,
course,
yes,
right.
but we are not going to do the critics
No,
right. Yes,
no.
yes. So we
We are
have to
going to hand to-
over to Sangweni and Samgelo to do the critiques.
Greetings. My name is Sizo Sangweni. I'm here to critique about the conflict theory. The first critique is that of the overemphasis of the significance of the power struggles. What do I mean about that? I mean, in a family, for example, the family concentrates more in the power struggle rather than the differences in the gender. The second critique is that of the family conflict is seen as inevitable. What do I mean about that? In the family conflict is normal, so the disagreements in the family is normal. So that shows that the family is growing and it will be united. Thank you. My next colleague, Samgelo Hadebe, will critique the functionalist view of gender. Thank you.
To everyone, just to take off where my colleague have left off, Sizwe Sangweni, I'll further criticize based on functionalism. Functionalism neglects the separation of women within the family structure. What it does is promote the women oppression rather than empowering them. This tends to bring an instability to the society of which we live in. By talking about the separation as well as oppression of women, it includes the gender role. Gender roles are socially constructed and usually involve the oppression of women. The roles of women as well as men in the home domestic roles which a man and a wife undertake in their house are called the conjugal roles. Conjugal roles involve to take care of the children as well as to do the housework. Women are the ones who are likely to do these conjugal roles, while men does not do much or does not play their part in doing these conjugal roles. What men usually do is to clean the yard, while the women have to take care of the house, like this one who's cooking, and to take care of the children, while men does not do anything like that. Within the community where I come from, even if a man is not working, he cannot do these conjugal roles. He will wait for his wife until she comes back and do these conjugal roles. I suggest that women should improve in the following areas in order to create stability in our society. A. Delaying age of marriage. Women should look for a job in order to assist financially as to get married as early as possible. B. Planning of children. They should explore different relationships in order to pick the best suitable for themselves. C. Looking for jobs. They should look for jobs and not see themselves as the housemates. D. They should be heading families. If they have the job, they will be able to be the heads of the families and not depend on their husband. Therefore, I think women must no longer accept the traditional family roles which were used by their parents in the past. My colleague, Andy Lembata, will further sum up based on what our colleagues have discussed before. Thank you.
Everyone. To sum up on the presentation based on sociology of gender. Sociologists define gender in terms of social context. Functionalists and conflict theorists have their own way of viewing gender. Functionalists view gender in terms of division of labor, whereby men and women have to perform certain duties in a society to maintain the stability. Conflict theorists view gender in terms of power and privileges, whereby there will be a dominant gender and the subordinate gender. Most of the time, the dominant gender will be male and the subordinate gender will be female. These theories, they also have critics. I won't dwell more on the critics since my colleagues have covered the context. Conflict theorists, They overemphasize on the significance of power, while functionalist theorists they neglect the suspension of women within the family structure. Thanks for watching our video. Amen.